The storm outside was roaring like an angry beast. Wind lashed against the tall glass. Walls of Anderson Estate, a massive mansion that stood like a silent fortress on the edge of Manhattan. But inside, everything was calm. Almost too calm. Michael Anderson, one of the richest men in New York, stepped out of his sleek black car, pulling off his leather gloves. His driver tried to open the umbrella for him, but Michael waved him off. "Stay. I won't be long," he said, his deep voice cutting through the rain. He wasn't supposed to be here. His flight from London had landed 12 hours early, and he hadn't told anyone. Not his assistant. Not his butler. Not even his children's nanny. It was supposed to be a surprise. But as he entered the grand hall of his mansion, what he saw made his heartbeat slow, and then rage began to rise in his chest. The marble floor shimmered in soft light. The air smelled faintly of vanilla and coffee, but it wasn't the peace of home he was feeling. He heard laughter, soft, playful laughter echoing down the hallway. He frowned. "Who the hell is in my house?" he muttered. As he moved closer, he peeked into the family room, and there she was, Anna, the maid. She wasn't wearing her uniform. Instead, she had on a pink t-shirt, her hair tied loosely, and she was sitting cross-legged on the rug with his 3 triplets, Ethan, Emma, and Eli, all around her. The 3 little ones were giggling hysterically as Anna painted their tiny faces with colorful streaks, pretending to be superheroes. "Super triplets assemble," she said in a mock-heroic voice. The kids screamed in joy, running around her like she was their whole world. And for the first time in a long time, the mansion felt alive. But Michael didn't smile. He was frozen, a storm brewing behind his eyes. His jaw clenched. The mighty billionaire who closed million-dollar deals with a flick of his pen now stood speechless watching a maid, his maid, making his children laugh like he never could. Unbelievable, he muttered under his breath. At that moment, Anna turned, and her eyes went wide. "Mr. Anderson?" she gasped, standing up so fast that the paintbrush dropped from her hand. The kids turned too, their faces lighting up. "Daddy!" they screamed in unison, running toward him. Michael forced a smile, kneeling to hug them, but his eyes stayed cold. "Hey, my champs! Surprised to see me?" Anna stood frozen, clutching her apron now, her face turning pale. "Sir, I didn't know you were coming back today. I thought you were still in London?" he interrupted sharply. "Yeah, that's the point of a surprise." The kids jumped up and down, tugging his sleeve. "Daddy, Anna made us superheroes. Look, I'm Captain Eli." But Michael wasn't listening. His gaze swept the room. Toys scattered everywhere. Paint bottles open, even a plate of cookies on the floor. His tone dropped, quiet but cutting. "Looks like the mansion's turned into a daycare," he said coldly. Anna's voice trembled. "Sir, they were feeling lonely. You've been gone for so long and—" "Lonely?" he snapped, his voice echoing in the marble hall. "That's your excuse for making a mess out of my house?" Her lips quivered, but she didn't answer. The kids' laughter faded instantly. The room, once bright with joy, now felt suffocatingly silent. Ethan tugged his father's sleeve. "Please don't be mad at Anna, Daddy. She was just—" "Go to your rooms," Michael ordered, his tone icy. The kids looked at Anna for help. She gave a small nod, forcing a smile. "Go on, sweethearts. It's okay." As soon as they left, the silence between her and Michael grew heavy. He stepped closer, eyes burning with something unspoken. "I pay you well, don't I, Anna? I give you a place to live, food, everything you need. So tell me, why do you think you can do whatever you want in my house?" Anna took a shaky breath, her voice soft but steady. "With all due respect, sir, your children need love, not just rules. You travel so much, they barely see you." Michael's expression darkened. "You're not here to lecture me on parenting." "No, sir," she said quietly. But someone had to notice. That hit him like a bullet. He took a step back, eyes narrowing. "Watch your tone, Anna. You forget your place too easily." Anna swallowed hard, lowering her gaze. "I haven't forgotten my place, sir. I just haven't forgotten theirs either." And with that, she bent down to pick up the fallen paintbrush, her hands trembling slightly but her face firm. Michael stood there, his jaw tight, trying to process what had just happened. No one had ever spoken to him like that, especially not a maid. But somewhere deep down, something in her words stung. Later that night, as he stood in his study staring out the rain-drenched window, Michael couldn't get Anna's voice out of his head. Your children need love, not just rules. He wanted to shake it off, but every time he closed his eyes, he saw her, kneeling on the floor, laughing with his kids, their faces glowing with joy. He poured himself a glass of whiskey. This wasn't supposed to happen. He wasn't supposed to feel wrong. Tomorrow, he decided, things would change. He'd talk to Anna properly, set boundaries again, make it clear who was in charge here. But destiny had other plans. The next morning, the golden sunlight poured through the tall glass windows of Anderson Estate, cutting through the silence like a warm knife. Michael hadn't slept much. The storm outside had faded, but the one inside his mind hadn't. He kept replaying Anna's words again and again. Your children need love, not just rules. It echoed like a haunting melody. He wanted to believe she was wrong. That structure, discipline, and order were what built greatness. That's what made him who he was. But every time he remembered his triplets' faces glowing with laughter around her, his heart twisted. Still, he was a man of control, and he wasn't about to lose it to a maid. The aroma of pancakes drifted into his study, pulling him out of his thoughts. He walked toward the kitchen, his steps slow, deliberate. As he entered, the sight before him stopped him in his tracks again. Anna was there, humming softly, flipping pancakes, her hair tied up in a messy bun. The triplets sat at the table, wearing handmade paper crowns that said King Ethan, Queen Emma, and Knight Eli. They were laughing again. And this time, so was she. Good morning, Daddy, the kids shouted together, their voices bright and innocent. Michael forced a small smile. Morning, my little royals. Anna turned, startled again, but calmer than before. Good morning, Mr. Anderson. Would you like breakfast? He walked closer, his tone cool. Looks like you've got things handled. As always. She caught the slight sarcasm, but chose to ignore it. Just making sure they eat properly before school, sir. Michael raised an eyebrow. And you think pancakes with chocolate syrup are proper? Ethan giggled. Anna said chocolate makes us smile. You should try it, Daddy. For the first time in years. Michael actually chuckled. A quiet, reluctant sound that surprised even him. Anna noticed it, the faint smile on his usually stone-cold face. But before she could say anything, his phone buzzed. He glanced down at the screen. A message from his assistant. Sir, urgent. The investors have pulled out of the London deal. His jaw clenched. He walked to the side, answering the call in a low, serious voice. Yes, I'm aware. No, we're not canceling anything. Tell them I'll handle it personally. His tone was sharp, commanding, the same man everyone feared in the boardroom. But behind him, the triplets were whispering. Anna, why does Daddy always sound mad? Emma asked softly. Anna's heart ached. She placed a gentle hand on the little girl's shoulder. He's not mad, sweetheart. He just has a lot on his mind. Michael heard it. He turned slightly, his expression unreadable. After ending the call, he looked at Anna. I need to talk to you, alone. Her eyes flickered with concern, but she nodded. Kids, finish your breakfast. I'll be right back. They stepped into the hallway. The morning light glowed between them, but the tension was thick. Michael folded his arms. I appreciate your work, Anna, but I think you're getting too comfortable here. She blinked, unsure what he meant. Sir, you're crossing lines. Playing games, getting attached, acting like this is your family, it's not. Her lips parted slightly, hurt flashing in her eyes. I don't act like it's my family, sir. I just care about them. They're children, not employees. His tone hardened. You're paid to take care of them, not to replace their mother. Anna flinched. That word mother hit like a stone. The triplets' mother had died when they were barely 1. Since then, Michael had buried himself in work, using money to fill the silence. Left behind. She met his gaze, her voice trembling but firm. They don't need me to replace her, Mr. Anderson. They just need someone who looks at them like they matter. His jaw tightened. Watch your words. But Anna didn't back down. Her eyes glistened, her hands shaking. I see those kids every day waiting by the window for you. Ethan counts your flight times. Emma keeps your tie safe under her pillow because it smells like you. And Eli, her voice broke. Eli told me he dreams of you taking him to the park. Just once. Michael's throat went dry. He hadn't realized how much they craved his presence, how deeply they missed him. He turned away, his voice low. You don't understand what it's like. Anna, I built everything for them, for their future. She stepped closer, tears in her eyes. But what about their present, sir? He froze. The words hit him harder than he expected. For the first time, Michael had no comeback, no sharp retort, just silence. Anna took a deep breath, lowering her gaze. I'm sorry if I overstepped, sir. I'll keep my distance. And before he could respond, she walked away. He stood there, feeling something heavy in his chest, a feeling he hadn't known in years. Guilt. Hours passed. The mansion felt emptier than ever. The laughter was gone. The warmth had faded. When the kids came home from school, Anna was quiet, distant. She spoke politely but avoided Michael completely. That night, as Michael sat in his study again, he looked at a framed photo on his desk, the last family picture before his wife died. She had the same soft smile Anna had when she looked at the children. He rubbed his temple, whispering to himself, What the hell am I doing? Then suddenly, a knock on his door. It was Ethan. Daddy, Anna's leaving. Michael's heart skipped. What do you mean leaving? Ethan's eyes filled with tears. She packed her bag. She said she has to go tonight. The billionaire's world, his carefully built fortress of pride and control, cracked right down the middle. Without another word, he ran toward the hallway. The sound of hurried footsteps echoed through the long marble hallway. Michael Anderson, the man everyone called the Ice King of Wall Street, was running. Running, for the first time in years. Anna! He shouted, his voice breaking through the silence of the mansion. Anna, wait! Down near the servants' wing, Anna stood by the door with her old brown suitcase. Her eyes were red, but her face calm. The calm that comes after crying too much. She froze when she heard his voice. Slowly she turned around. Mr. Anderson, she said softly, holding herself straight. The car will be here in 5 minutes. I'll be out of your way soon. Michael stopped a few feet from her, breathing hard. You're not going anywhere. She shook her head. You made it clear, sir. I crossed a line. And I can't keep pretending this house is a home when it's not. The words hit him like a punch to the chest. He wanted to speak, to apologize. But his pride, the same pride that had built his empire, chained his tongue. Anna, he said quietly, you can't just walk away. The children, they'll be fine, she interrupted, her voice trembling. They have you. Michael's voice rose. They need you, He stopped, realizing what he had just admitted. His jaw clenched, but his eyes softened. They need you, he said again, quieter this time. I need you. Anna blinked, stunned. You, what? He stepped closer, lowering his tone. I didn't see it before. I thought I was protecting them by keeping everything under control, by keeping my distance. But I was wrong. Her lips trembled. Mr. Anderson. Michael, he corrected gently. Please, call me Michael. Anna looked away, tears threatening to fall again. It's too late, she whispered. You can't just wake up one day and decide you care. He took another step closer, his voice raw. No, but maybe I can decide to start now? The silence stretched between them. Outside, thunder rolled faintly, the second storm in 2 days. Anna hugged her arms. You don't understand. I wasn't just the kids' caretaker. I loved them like they were mine, and leaving them, it's breaking me apart. Michael's throat tightened. Then don't leave. She looked up at him, her eyes shining. And what happens next time you decide I've crossed a line? You'll fire me again? Throw me out because I made your children smile too much? He winced. I was wrong to say those things. I was angry. Scared, even. Scared? She repeated. Yes, he said firmly. Because every time I saw you with them, I saw something I'd lost. My wife's warmth, her laughter, the way she used to make this house feel like more than glass and concrete. Anna's hand covered her mouth. I didn't mean to. He cut her off gently. You didn't replace her. You reminded me of her, and I hated you for it, because it hurt to remember what I'd buried. Tears rolled down Anna's cheeks now. Michael. He stepped closer, only inches between them. You woke something in this house. In me, and if you leave now, I don't think we'll survive it. At that moment, a small voice came from behind them. Anna? It was Emma, clutching her stuffed bunny, her eyes wide and sleepy. Sweetheart, what are you doing up? Anna asked quickly, kneeling down. Emma's lip trembled. Ethan said you're leaving. Is it because of Daddy? Anna froze, unable to answer. Michael knelt beside his daughter, his heart breaking at her tiny voice. No, Princess. It's not because of Daddy, it's because Daddy made a mistake. Emma looked confused. Then tell her you're sorry, Daddy. Michael smiled faintly, a sad, ashamed smile. You're right. He turned back to Anna, his voice trembling for the first time. I'm sorry, Anna, for everything. For being cold. For making you feel like you didn't belong here. You always did. Anna's chest rose and fell as she stared at him. Then Ethan and Eli appeared, rubbing their eyes, standing in the doorway. Anna, don't go! Ethan cried, rushing to hug her leg. We'll be good, we promise! Eli grabbed her hand. Please stay. Daddy will be nice now. Anna couldn't hold it anymore. She wrapped her arms around all three of them, crying silently as the kids clung to her. Michael stood there, watching the scene. And something inside him broke open completely. He took a slow breath and said, If you'll give me a chance, I want to fix this, not just for them, for us. The kids looked between them, sensing something different in the air. Hope. Anna wiped her tears. I don't know if I can just forget everything that happened. Michael nodded. I'm not asking you to forget. I'm asking you to help me be better. For them, for this home. She studied him for a long moment. The same man who had once been untouchable, unshakable, now standing before her vulnerable and human. Finally, she whispered, All right. I'll stay, but not for you. For them. He smiled faintly. That's enough for now. 1 week later. The mansion had changed. It wasn't loud, but it was alive. Michael spent evenings helping the triplets with their homework, sometimes burning the pancakes himself while trying to cook. Anna teased him for it. You're worse than a microwave, Mr. Anderson. Michael, he corrected with a smirk. And hey, the kids liked it. They pretended to, she said with a laugh, shaking her head. The laughter that once seemed impossible now filled the halls daily. 2 months later, the Anderson Charity Gala, an annual event hosted in Michael's mansion, was in full swing. The guests were shocked to see the billionaire smiling, actually smiling, as he watched his children dance with Anna. When one of the board members approached him and said, You seem different, Michael. He replied simply, Maybe I finally realized what's worth more than money. As the night ended and the guests left, Michael found Anna standing outside on the balcony, staring at the stars. He joined her quietly. You know, he said softly, that night you were going to leave. I thought that was the end of everything. Anna looked at him, smiling gently. And now? He gazed toward the window where the kids slept peacefully. Now it feels like a beginning. She blushed, lowering her eyes. You've changed, Michael. He chuckled. Maybe you were right. Maybe all we needed was a little love. Anna smiled. No. You just needed someone to remind you what it feels like. He looked at her, eyes soft. Then I guess I owe you everything. And as the night breeze carried the sound of gentle laughter from the children's room, Michael Anderson, the man who once had everything but love, finally realized the greatest wealth he'd ever found wasn't in his fortune. It was standing right beside him. Sometimes love doesn't knock. It just walks in wearing an apron. What would you do if you were in Michael's place? Comment below.